Welcome back to CT Sports Now. It's my favorite time of the week. We're talking high school football with the guy who puts together the most comprehensive website I've ever seen. That CT Sports Now site is, every time I look at it, and I look at it all the time.
Game Time CT. Like your CT Sports Now. It's been a long week.
It has. Game Time CT. Every time I look at it, I see something new. Like there's always something going on there. You guys do a phenomenal job.
Oh, well,
with that
thank
thing.
you. It's a labor of love.
Well,
at least they pay us. Thank God.
So you do make some
it's
money.
It's not just love.
It's money too.
Yeah.
So, all right, Sean Patrick Bowley joining us. Sean, let's start with Double L, because we saw DARIEN really dismantle Southington. You were at that game, and it was just DARIEN showing how tough that team is.
Yeah, the second verse, same as the first.
Yeah.
You know, it was the same thing as last year, where Southington gets a first down on the first drive, which was much better than they did last year. But it was after that, DARIEN really asserting itself. You know, you have Andrew Stuber, the Michigan-bound lineman, and all of his cohorts up front. There he is, number 72. He's going to Michigan. They were, every time they got the ball, they had a turnover or two, but they would score. And then the defense obviously has been tough all year, and they did his job. And Stuber's on the defensive line, and you have Quinn Fay, and you had Core Fox.
Yeah. And, in fact, in these highlights, we're going to see Quinn Fay come up with, not here, because we got a Finley Collins touchdown.
Yeah,
here.
Finley Collins has been their catalyst offensively all year. He's been really tough to stop. But
nice kid, right? He's heading off to Penn, from what I understand.
Yeah,
now.
for lacrosse, yes.
But here you'll see, I think that people kind of overlook.
Yeah.
Fay nearly decapitates the quarterback there. But they overlook this team's defense. This DARIEN defense is really
and they only
good.
rushed four guys. Like, you dropped your phone, the coach said it wasn't anything special. They just rushed four guys, and Southington just didn't have the horses to keep them back, to hold them back. And Southington, nice effort by them, but another DARIEN, what is their 25th straight going
win,
into the state championship game, and
really establishing themselves as a dynasty.
Yeah,
at this point.
last time they kind of blitzed them with a lot of. I mean, it was a lot of van check and a lot of that stuff, but and a lot of their skill players. This time it was just brute force on the offensive and defensive wise. Really impressive.
So let's check out how it shapes up now for this championship game in Class Double L. DARIEN versus Ridgefield. How do you like this game? It's Saturday, 2:30 at West Haven's Ken Strong Stadium. What do you? I mean, DARIEN's got to be the prohibitive favorite here.
Yeah, well, they're the best team in the FCAC, and Ridgefield actually lost a couple games in the FCAC. But listen, don't discount Ridgefield. They have come back. They've been resilient. They've been off the deck. They've been down. They were down against Shelton by like 3 scores. They were down against Shelton by 10 with 3 minutes to go. And Drew Fowler and Chris Longo and Shane Palmer and Colin Lowe and the gang came flying right back, pulled that game out, and incredible, knocked Shelton off of its perch. It had been in the finals the last 2 years. Here's Chris, Chris Longo doing a little dance here. I asked him about that. He goes, "Yeah, they weren't FCAC refs, so I got flagged for it." But that's an impressive to beat Shelton in a shootout. Now, however, DARIEN is going to be unforgiving. Shelton's defense, as we said last week, a little sketchy.
They'll give up some points.
DARIEN's defense will not. So they're going to need to be perfect, no turnovers, and then they're going to need to figure out a way to stop Finley Collins and Brian Piers and the rest of them.
Let's move on to Class L. You were talking about the FCAC New Canaan into the championship game. Notre Dame nearly came back in that one. They pulled close, and they had to get an onside kick at the end, which they weren't able to do to try to tie it. But this game was all about defense early, and Nico Reganey made that interception for Notre Dame, and then we see New Canaan's defense because they stop them. From inside the 10-yard line. Yeah,
that could have really broken it open for Notre Dame. They stop around the goal. There's James Frere, Nico Reganey, a special player. We're going to really miss him in Connecticut. 4-year varsity career. But New Canaan has one of their own outstanding players, and that would be Ryan O'Connell, and I think that's him right there catching a touchdown. And Ryan is also one of the best players, or that might have been I forget who his name is now. But there he is. There's Ryan O'Connell. Yep, and he's one of the best players in the state as well. They have their guy. It's been a really special run for New Canaan, 4 straight championships. These kids were freshmen when they were last there, and I remember standing up in the stands and watching all the guys play, and now they can't believe it. Their time is here now. Now it's a new generation sitting up in the stands watching them playing the state final. They take on a Windsor team, which really showed its might last night against Middletown. You know, T.J. Gardner rushing for 200 yards. There he is right there, the big boy. I mean, once he gets a full head of steam, I mean, we saw this against Harding. He really wasn't as much of a factor all season like this, and Coach Rob Fleeting said it was his best game. When you have all the big boys up front firing out and block for him, and he's just huge. He's tough to bring down.
6'3", 220.
Yeah, he's a massive player. He said it was his best game, and if he's playing at his top level, they have so many other weapons, Jakari Grant and Jason Pinnock. And too much for Middletown. Now they play their old friends from New Canaan, the last team to beat New Canaan was Windsor in the Class L. I believe it was the semifinals in 2012. That should be an amazing game.
So this Windsor New Canaan game, that's at Willowbrook Park.
Yep.
All the games are on Saturday, 2:30 Willowbrook Park. So that should be another deal.
Yeah.
I just keep saying that about every matchup. By the way, Lou Marinelli with a chance to tie Ed McCarthy for the most victories as a coach in Connecticut if he wins the state championship. What a way to tie Ed McCarthy, right?
Yeah, it's just it's a fairy tale. You got a potential fairy tale ending here for the season for Coach Lou.
Coach Lou says it's because he's old.
Yeah.
He's coached so long.
Right.
Class M, Hill House. I thought in the previous weeks Hill House got off to slow starts, but that was not the case last night.
No, last night it was pretty much what they do at the best. They run with Matt Breon, with David Harris, and they play defense with Sean O'Gar. Although Kinley brought it this time, we knew that Spencer Lockwood was going to get his yards. He ran for 200 yards in this one. There's Chase Kinsley catching a touchdown. He's been one of their best players out in on the open field. But Hill House just way too much explosiveness and speed. And even though Kinley hung around for a little while, it was only a 7-point lead, I believe, at halftime. Hill House gets a defensive stop, and they go right back down the other way and score again. And they bring so many weapons to the table, and that was probably one of their best games, as you said, heading into this one. First state championship since 2012. So we're really anxious to see them play a St. Joe team, which somehow is here.
St. Joe's young,
Yeah.
but they seem to be clicking last night in their game up at Valley Regional. Scoreless at half, and then boom, they explode for a couple quick touchdowns.
Yeah, Dan O'Brien here catching the touchdown pass, and they were feeling really good about that. In Deep River, you're up 7-0 on a perennial champion, St. Joe, but St. Joe does what it always does, and here's Corey Babineau thrown over to one of the best receivers in the state. That's Jared Malazzi. I mean, he caught a couple touchdown passes, and then you had Jaden Sheridan, the young son of Dwayne Sheridan, the former Stratford coach and the former All-Stater from Stratford. He scored a touchdown, and off we went with St. Joseph back in the final again. This is I think it's their 5th time or 6th time in the last 9 years. It's a pretty incredible run for them. This is a team that they thought was only going to be 500 when they started.
So real quickly on Saturday, St. Joe's, Hill House. That game's going to be at West Haven. You hope that Hill House brings some people there because it's not that far away.
No, you see New Haven show up with championship on the line. You'll see it. You'll definitely see New Haven show up for Hill House.
Class S, real quickly. We're running out of time, but Ansonia just does what it does. Yeah. It doesn't seem.
It's an incredible run for them. Another state final. They do it every single year, and they go, as you said, up against the team Rocky Hill, which is playing in its first state playoff. I mean, it's only been around 20, not even 20 years. Grant Nieves and Catalina, I mean, they buried Seymour, quite surprisingly. So Ansonia also had buried Seymour. Rocky Hill buried Seymour. You look at that, you're like, well, maybe they're pretty well matched up. The double wing of Rocky Hill against Ansonia, a team that had been there for a while. That's going to be pretty incredible. And if Rocky Hill can somehow pull that out, like Valley did a couple years ago, like Bloomfield last year, anytime you beat Ansonia in a state championship is pretty special. So
that's Willowbrook Park, 10:30, obviously on Saturday.
Yep.
So you're not getting any rest yet
No.
because you have a lot of football still to cover all coming up on Saturday.
What is it, 3 more days? 4 more days.
4 more days, and then you can take a nap.
Yeah.
And you can take a nice long nap.
Hit the slopes.
Are you going to come back in when we get you back? I'm putting you on the spot because we're doing it right here live on the air. I'm going to ask you. We'd love to have you back on Tuesday to break things down.
If I'm not
or Monday rather. On Monday.
If I'm not comatose,
okay,
I'll be here.
I know where you live. I'm going to come wake you up. A little smelling salts on you. Yeah. We thank you for coming in. Your insights are always terrific. It's Game Time CT, and it's a tremendous website. We go there for all our information and to know what to do. So
thank you. And I come here for all my TV time. I don't know.
I was waiting to hear what you were going to say with that.
Let's get to Saturday, everyone. Let's get to Saturday.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you come back. We're talking a little more basketball when we come back.